What if I'm like, oh,
So
hi.
I gotta go get the
Okay. Anthony Joshua became the unified heavyweight champion, which means he owns more than one of the belts. He actually owns all of the belts except for the WBC championship that American Deontay Wilder has. Let's talk about Joshua's performance against the previously undefeated Joseph Parker. Rachel, what did you think about Anthony Joshua?
I thought the fight was okay. I did hear Paulie Malignaggi say that it might seem boring, but it was actually a really tactical fight, and it made me feel like not a great boxing fan.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, eh.
When he said that too, I remember him saying that, and I was like, well, or it's boring, Paulie. Like, it's okay for it to be boring. So, like, his point was that the fight was being fought at a distance that each fighter was able to throw punches and land them. The problem, of course, in this whole scenario was that neither fighter was really throwing all that many punches and or landing them. I thought that Anthony Joshua needed a bigger type statement, I guess, if you will, if he wanted to drive the media narrative, especially continue the prevailing narrative that he's the legitimate heavyweight champion. Because I thought that after Wilder's performance over Luis Ortiz, the knockout win, it really set him up as the de facto, he's the man in the heavyweight division. And so Joshua needed a big statement win to kind of garner that, or at least in some circles keep his momentum of being the top heavyweight in boxing right now. I don't think he did that. I thought that Parker, coming into the fight, I thought Parker was a pretty good heavyweight who had fast hands, but I didn't think he had much power. I thought his feet were slow, and I didn't think he'd be able to cut off the ring. He wasn't able to cut off the ring. His punches landed, but weren't really super effective, and he didn't seem to have enough power. So I thought that, going into the fight, I thought he was what he was. I was surprised myself that Joshua had as much trouble, if you will, for lack of a better word, with him as he did. I thought that Parker would not be in the fight when really, I think the scores were pretty wide, but it was a fairly close fight. I would see it more around 116 to 112-ish if you were scoring it at home. What did you think about how just aesthetically Joshua looked in the fight?
So I thought the whole fight was a little bit slow. Each fighter was just kind of slow. They may have been fighting their own tactical fight that was really good for their advantage. But for me watching, it was just kind of slow, which is normal for heavyweights, which is why maybe I don't want to watch every heavyweight fight ever. There were a few moments here and there. It was let's get excited. Something might happen. But then it never did. And we had a 12-round fight, came to a decision, ended up being a wide decision, which is fine. Even if maybe it was close.
How many rounds did you score for the referee? Because I thought he was particularly effective, at least 3 rounds.
Of making the fight even more dull?
Yeah. He really kept each fighter at a distance, and imposed his will on the fight, which was to have no action.
I will say that the last heavyweight fight I saw, which was Wilder versus Luis Ortiz, was really exciting. And Wilder was tested, came out victorious. It was just such an exciting fight to watch. Sure. This fight, Joshua Parker, wasn't that. I didn't really see either fighter. I don't know, I wouldn't describe it as anyone getting tested. It just seemed like a fight. Yeah. And it didn't make me think that Joshua could beat Wilder.
And that's the thing, right? We've had this argument, I guess, on which one was the real, legitimate going to take over the division after Vladimir Klitschko was gone, whether it would be Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua. It just seemed like 90% of people out there would say Joshua, and there were the 10%ers like myself who thought they saw something in Wilder.
And I guess if you can be really, what's the word? Technical. If you're a technical boxing fan, maybe you can look at these fighters. I can't do that. So that's not my forte. So I just see Wilder and I see Joshua, and it just looks to me like Wilder's faster, has more power.
You're definitely more athletic.
Yeah, is he taller?
He's taller.
Taller.
He's got more power than anyone.
So it just seems to me like unless when Joshua fights Wilder, all of a sudden he steps up. Because sometimes you have fighters that step up to their competition, so things change.
Yeah.
So we've, in the past, talked about Manny Pacquiao and how he fights up and down to his opponents.
Yeah.
So if Joshua
maybe he
pulls something out and like
because he's not like he's
it.
very good. Like I'm not saying he's not a good, really, really good heavyweight. I just like between the two, if you're going to ask me which one's going to win the fight, I'm going to say I think that like Joshua gives Wilder a lot of problems until somewhere in the fight, they're both tired and throwing punches at each other.
And Wilder throws a punch and hits you in the chin and you're done.
I'll take Deontay Wilder's speed, his athleticism, his power, and just, I think, like, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, which is what boxing is, those later rounds when people aren't fighting their bets anymore, their technical skills kind of start to slip and they just start throwing punches, then Wilder's the one that's going to land. And when he does, like, he's going to knock you out.
Yeah. And I don't even... Like me personally, I don't think Wilder is a particularly like great boxer.
No, he's got
like this just crazy power.
Yeah, and he's incredibly
saved him
athletic
in the last fight, right?
Right.
Like, because I kind of wanted Ortiz to win. Like, I kind of wanted to see a Cuban fighter win, and
Cuban heavyweight, that'd have been a big deal. And, like, he looked like he was going to win.
Yeah.
Except, like, again, like, going into the fight, I thought the same thing.
And he was a better skilled boxer.
Just like Joshua might be better skilled. But at the same time, when you're both tired and you're both throwing punches at each other, I'll take Wilder's incredible athleticism and his sick power over the other stuff. I just would every time.
And you might, like, some people might not like that.
Right.
You might not like that. But it's just like reality. That's
just reality. That's just the truth. And Deontay Wilder... to the McCarsons is the truth.
Well, I feel like that's a little over the top.